Ladies and gentlemen. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Go. This is showtime.
It's showtime.
You're listening to Rotary on the radio on 107 Meridian FM with Steve Kirripai and Anthony Beevor. And for the next 10 minutes or so, Steve's going to be talking with John Ellis from our club. Over to you, Steve. Take it away.
Thank you, Anthony. John, thank you very much for coming into the studios. I know you're a very, very busy man, especially the week before the major event. Just can you give us a bit of insight or background of how long this tree lighting ceremony has gone on for?
Well, I was quite surprised myself. I was looking into this earlier in the week, Steve, and it's been going on now for over 50 years.
Right.
I was talking with one of our elderly members, and his father was a Rotarian before him, and he was doing it long ago. So it's at least 50 years we've been doing it.
And has it always been the same place, or do we not have
in the High Street?
In the High Street,
in East Grinstead High Street, the tree lighting ceremony, that is. But the whole event, which I hope we'll be able to talk about in this next few minutes, has been going on for 50 years, and that's Father Christmas, visiting houses and all that kind of thing.
Great achievement, isn't it? 50 years. It's amazing.
And still fresh.
Yes.
Still very fresh.
Brilliant. If, what are the objectives of the appeal, and, what are you trying to do?
Well, essentially, the whole object of Rotary is to raise funds so that we can help people who are less fortunate than we are, both locally and nationally, and indeed internationally. But this particular event is to ensure that wherever possible and wherever we know of individuals, nobody in East Grinstead in need will go without a gift during this particular Christmas time. And that's the whole objective of all the events that we do over this next 3 weeks, is to actually do that. And
do we know how much money we've raised over the years? Well, in this event?
Just thinking about that, we raise, over recent years, we've raised roughly £8,000 each Christmas. So going back over the 50-odd years, I guess we're getting close to £500,000 that's been raised. But we don't think about the past too much. We think about the now and the future. So this year we're expecting to raise at least £8,000, which will enable us to ensure that everybody gets a gift.
So the target figure is £8,000.
Is £8,000. Yes.
And just give us a bit of information. So how does the whole event start? Does it start with the collection? I mean, where does the Christmas tree and the celebration start for Rotary?
Well, in actual fact, the organisation started back last January. We start thinking about this Christmas at the beginning of this year. But we've been organising this now for. I've certainly been involved in organising the Christmas tree lighting ceremony for the last 2 months, contacting the people that we'd like to take part in the ceremony. So there's a lot of work. There's a lot of work involved in just that one section of this whole event. But all the Rotarians, particularly the Christmas Appeal Committee, are working on it throughout the year, organising licences for doing the street lighting, licences for the collections, organising the collections through people like Sainsbury that we.
You collect outside.
Very kindly, they allow us to collect outside the Sainsbury store for 1 day leading up to Christmas. And that day is actually coming up. It's actually on the 7th, Sunday the 7th, which is a week tomorrow.
Right, okay. So am I right in assuming the tree lighting ceremony kicks off the rest of the the program that's in hand for December.
That's right. The tree lighting starts the whole thing off, and it starts next Saturday. It's in East Grinstead High Street, and it's outside the Broadley Brothers.
Famous landmark that everyone locally should know.
Exactly, and that's where the tree is, and that's where the ceremony takes place. And it really starts at 12 o'clock. Because Meridian FM are kindly setting up at 12 o'clock. They'll be supplying the sound system for the whole event, and the whole event will be on live during the Rotary radio that takes place each Saturday.
Yes.
So thanks to Meridian Rotary for that. We're very grateful, but. We've got a number of celebrities involved, and what we try to do with this event is to engage the local community. For instance, the town mayor historically opens the event, and we're very grateful for each subsequent mayor that comes along every year. It goes into his diary. This is one of the major events that he attends, and we're very grateful for that. We also have the local parish priest of St Swithin's,
right?
The Reverend Clive Everett Allen. He might like me to give him his full title, which is the Reverend Canon Clive Everett Allen, and he delivers his Christmas message to us. And the event starts with Clive, and he delivers his message. The mayor then opens the event to support the whole thing. And lead up to actually the event itself, we have a number of characters from the pantomime, which is taking place at Checkermead this year.
Okay.
And those two characters are Widow Twankey,
right,
and the Chief of Police of Old Peking.
Right.
And they'll be in full dress. Widow Twankey, alias Kevin.
Yeah.
We'll be dressed up in full makeup, full dress, and everything that goes with it. And from 1 o'clock onwards, they'll be touring the town and just encouraging people to be at the ceremony for around about 3 o'clock for when it actually starts. We've also got a town crier.
Right.
We don't have an official town crier in East Grinstead,
no.
But for that one day of the week, we have a town crier one day in the year, we have a town crier in East Grinstead High Street. And that is a chap by the name of Stephen Fallowell.
Right.
He's done it for a number of years now.
He's an old hand at it, okay.
And he does a great job for us. And he, like Widow Twankey and the Chief of Police of Old Peking, will be circling the town. He'll have his bell and he'll have his booming voice, and he'll be encouraging people.
Dressed up in his full gear.
That's exactly it, yeah. So, a lot of colour added to the event.
And some interesting characters.
And some very interesting characters. Kevin himself, alias Widow Twankey, we'll all see him at the pantomime, but he is a larger-than-life character, and he'll bring some real colour.
That's what we want, isn't it, really? Fun, laughter, and enjoyment.
Exactly.
And who else? Do we have anyone else?
Yeah, in fact, the East Grinstead Concert Band,
right?
They've supported us for many years now, and they'll be along. They'll be playing music. They'll be playing carols.
Excellent.
They'll be playing music on the lead up to the event at 3 o'clock from about 2:45, and they'll also be playing the carols and encouraging the audience that will have gathered by this time to sing carols. And generally we sing 4 Christmas carols during the event. But the carol singing itself is swelled by the attendance of the Sackville Junior Choir,
right,
who come along every year, and I understand this year there are a larger number of them attending, so that'll give good voice to it. And in addition to that, we have the East Grinstead District Rock Choir that are coming along, and they'll add something very different,
right, yeah,
very different to this event this year. So,
A variety.
quite a lot of characters and a great variety of people.
And then the event finishes at 3:45 or somewhere along those times?
The event starts at 3 and it finishes about 3:45. But before then, before it actually finishes, there are a number of things. We've not forgotten to mention what I think is the biggest celebrity in the world, or one of the biggest celebrities in the world.
And my favourite.
Is Father Christmas. And he'll be in attendance. He won't have his reindeer with him on this occasion,
No.
but what he will be doing, he'll be getting into the mood, ready for the evening when we start our first door-to-door collections with carols and Father Christmas, and that'll be in Stewart Way,
Right.
on the Herentide estate.
Okay. So it's a long day for him.
It's a long day for him. It's a long day for us because
Surely it's worth it.
absolutely, yes. I mean, to see when we actually do the gift distribution after Christmas, prior to Christmas,
yeah.
after the event, to see the joy on people's faces. We all think about East Grinstead as being an affluent town. Well, frankly, there are some parts of East Grinstead that are not as affluent as others, and some people not as affluent as others. And to see the joy on the faces of the people that receive the gifts that we give is just a great reward for all the work.
Makes it worthwhile doing all of this hard work, isn't it?
It
Just
does.
for a day.
It does.
To bring a smile on their faces.
Absolutely.
So if... is all these details on the Rotary Club's website if anyone wants to know, just in case they've obviously forgotten or they can't make a note of this, and where the Father Christmas is going to be, when are the street dates and all those stuff? Is that right?
That's absolutely right, Steve. The Rotary website is meridianrotary.co.uk.
meridianrotary.co.uk, okay?
.co.uk. And you can find the information on there, the programme for the whole of the Christmas tree lighting event.
Yeah.
And also on there, all on the homepage, you're able to find the list of places that Father Christmas will be visiting, along with the dates during
That's useful.
During this next 3
Yes.
weeks. So just to repeat the website, it's meridianrotary.co.uk. And all the information is on that website.
And I know you said the Father Christmas obviously goes that evening, starting his first of his street visits and collections in Stewart Way. How many visits are there, or how long does this go for? Is there a number, 15, 20?
It starts on the 6th,
Yeah.
and it finishes on the 20th of December.
Right.
And there are 16 door-to-door collections altogether. So we try to cover most of the town. We also take in Lingfield, Ashurst Wood and Forest Row during that time. So with those 16 visits, the Father Christmas and the Rotary collectors are out usually for about 2.5 hours in the evening. And we try to cover the whole of East Grinstead. Inevitably, there are pockets that we don't get to. But we do try to cover them all.
And I know you mentioned Sainsbury's. When's that all-day collection outside Sainsbury's, John?
Yep, the Sainsbury collection is a week tomorrow on Sunday the 7th of December.
Right.
And we'll be there from 10 o'clock as the store opens until 4 o'clock when the store closes. And we just ask people to be very generous and to help us to do what we're trying to do.
And apart from the street collections and the street visits and outside East Grinstead Sainsbury's, is there any other prominent locations you're collecting?
Yes, the Saturday the 6th we're in the East Grinstead Town Centre all day.
Yeah.
We're in Sainsbury's, as we've just said.
Yeah.
And we'll also be out at the East Grinstead Railway Station.
Okay.
We'll be there on the 22nd, Monday the 22nd, and we'll be meeting commuters from 4 o'clock through till 8 o'clock.
On their inbound homeward journey.
On the inward bound homeward journey, yes.
Right.
And we were giving them the opportunity to help us to help others.
Good. And I know you said you distribute gifts and everything else. Who is actually doing that task, if I may call that?
Yeah. Thank you for that's a very good question, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity to mention that, particularly, Steve.
Because, it must be a hell of a task to actually see that through.
It is a major task, and our Rotary members do that.
Right.
But when you consider that this year we'll be delivering over 400 gifts.
Over 400?
Over 400.
Amazing.
To people in East Grinstead. And it's a major task when you consider that all the work that's gone on building up in order to raise the money to buy the gifts, etc. We would be very grateful for any help that anybody would be able to give us on that. We have got friends and family involved helping us, but it is a large task, and it's getting larger each year. I mean, last year we did just over 200.
So
this
it's
year
doubled.
We've nearly doubled, with over 400. So it's becoming a big task, but it's a task that we enjoy.
Yes.
And it's a task that gives us as much pleasure as it gives the people who receive our gifts.
So if someone wants to get involved in distributing some of the gifts or seeing someone, how can they get in touch, or who do they need to get in touch with?
All they need to do is to go onto our website.
Right.
Go into the section that where you request info.
Okay.
And just put a simple email, and that'll come straight through to either myself or the president. And we'll then contact the individual.
Okay, that's fine. What we'll do is later on in the show we'll give out those details again right through until 3 o'clock. Okay. And I was also given a brief that this year some of the money that's raised is going towards a VIP lunch.
Yes.
Just before I get the wrong end of the VIP, can you explain a little bit more on that,
yes,
John?
Yes, it's we used to know it as the local club for blind people and people with poor sight. It's now called the Visually Impaired Club.
Right.
And for a number of years now, we've financed through the monies that we've raised on this Christmas appeal. For them to have a Christmas lunch, and we finance their Christmas lunch every year, and we'll be doing the same again this year.
Excellent. And from just talking to you, I mean, I can't imagine the scale of things, but surely to run such a large-scale event and then right through the days, there must be so much people in the background that you need electricians, mechanics, all sorts of things. I mean, do you have enough people to help you, or do you need more people? I mean, the background efforts must be... obviously, it's vital, but it must be a huge time management skills involved to get those ready for the event, isn't it?
Yeah, that's actually one of the biggest challenges to us, Steve. For instance, we, as part of the deal with Father Christmas, we look after his sleigh,
right,
for the whole of the year. So that has to be housed, and we have a place for that. But it's the maintaining the sleigh with the electrics, and inevitably it breaks down occasionally. So if there are any electricians out there that would like to help us to maintain it during this Christmas period, or engineers, motor mechanics, whatever, we'd be very, very grateful for them to contact us. Additionally, if anybody has got a vehicle with a tow bar, we've got chaps with tow bars, and they're able to do it. But we can't. We often find it difficult to cover every single night.
Yes.
Without calling people out many more times than we should do.
Yes.
Really. So if there's anybody that would like the idea of towing Santa's sleigh during this period and would like to help us, please get in touch in the same way through the website. info@Meridian, and it'll come through to us.
No problem. We're just going to take a quick break. Welcome back. You're listening to Rotary on the radio on 107 Meridian FM. I'm having a chat with John Ellis from the East Grinstead Meridian Rotary Club about the Christmas tree lighting ceremony and all the Christmas events that's been organised by the club. John, just before for the break, we spoke about electricians, mechanics and stuff, just in case there is someone listening. Obviously, it's a big task, but you don't, can someone, if I'm a mechanic, I'm listening to it now, can I just volunteer half an hour? You're not expecting me to volunteer hours and hours, are you? I can share the workload.
Yeah, it's very simply. We're not talking about major electrics here.
That's what I want to get across to people who are listening, yeah.
It's a very simple sleigh that we tow on a vehicle. But often the electrics break down. We have a hi-fi system within the sleigh with loudspeakers for playing carols, and often it'll break down. It's getting a bit old now, a bit like most of the Rotarians, but nonetheless it's getting a bit old, and it does break down. And although we've got people who a bit like Heath Robinson sort things out, it needs to be done in a more professional manner. So if there are any electricians, we'd be grateful. Also, the mechanics, all it is just oiling and greasing and tightening up wheels and making sure the links to the tow bar are okay, and that kind of thing.
Excellent. Obviously, for the people who want to volunteer, they can get in touch, meridianrotary.co.uk, and we'll give you the details throughout the show as well. And John, apart from the Rotarians and their friends and family supporting this to see this through, is there any local support that you've had from businesses other than Sainsbury's letting you collect outside? Is there any other support you've had from locals or local businesses?
Every year, Steve, the businesses in East Grinstead are very generous, and they do help us, and that contributes a reasonable amount of money in terms of providing the Christmas tree lights and that kind of thing, and we're very grateful for that. I would like to mention some, but there are too many to mention,
people,
and it wouldn't be right to mention any individuals on the air, because they all do a great job for us.
And their support is quite vital for the entire process, I guess.
Oh, absolutely. Without their support, it'd be very difficult for us.
Would you require more support if anyone else listening and want to support?
Oh yes. There are businesses in East Grinstead who, for whatever reason, are unable to support us. There are a number of charities that are seeking help, and we understand that. But if there are other businesses that are hearing this interview and feel that they would like to contribute to us, if not this year, next year, then we'd be very, very grateful for it.
They can also contribute, I guess, John, not financially, but manpower. They can contribute in many ways, couldn't they?
Oh yes, indeed. In fact, there are a lot of local businessmen are members of the Rotary.
Right.
And if there's anybody interested in becoming a Rotarian, then details of how to become a Rotarian are also on the website for people to follow through. But I mentioned that there are too many for me to mention. Yeah. But all the businesses who have contributed to us are acknowledged on the Christmas tree.
Right.
We're having this year a large sign produced thanking and acknowledging all the businesses that have contributed to it, and additionally, all their names will be on our website. So if there's anybody looking for their particular name, they'll find it there.
Good. And obviously, are you stressed coming up to the big event? Is everything on course? Is it all going okay?
The only thing that really concerns us, we're never concerned about the support of the participants. That's always been fantastic. The only a major concern we have, is the weather. We had a situation 3 years ago where we had to postpone the tree lighting ceremony because people couldn't get to East Grinstead, We couldn't get it. We couldn't get up to the tree lighting, so we had to postpone it to the following week. But I'd like to take this opportunity to acknowledge all the participants on that particular occasion, because everybody, without exception, cleared their diary and transferred it to the following Saturday.
That's very, very kind of them. And obviously you can't control the weather, but other than that, everything else is on target for a great event and a season, I guess, if that's the right term.
We just pray for good weather, and we'll be
okay.
As successful Christmas as we ever have.
And once that's all done, I know you mentioned, or you touched earlier on, that the preparations start in January. So back in January 2015, you are starting back again for next year's tree lighting ceremony.
That's correct.
And you have the same core members still to see that through?
Yeah. The committee changes each year to keep people fresh. We do change our responsibilities as each year goes by, and I think that's one of the great benefits of our Rotary clubs. And I emphasise clubs because there are two clubs in East Grinstead. It's the East Grinstead Rotary Club and the East Grinstead Meridian Rotary Club. It just keeps the whole thing fresh. And
different pair of eyes, I guess, to see things.
Exactly.
And does it make it easier for you, as you've done it for many years, as you said? Does it make it easier doing the next year because you know how things work, or is it as stressful as it was when you first started?
Well, the process becomes easier,
right?
Because you've got the process in place, but you still got to get the people involved.
Yes,
and it's the people that make or break these events. And we've been very fortunate. I think Rotary has got a very good name in East Grinstead.
It certainly has.
People are very happy to support us, for which we're very grateful.
And would you like to say anything else to the listeners of East Grinstead, John?
Yes, I'd just like to say to them, we will be round. You will hear the
Christmas carols
on the Father Christmas sleigh. When you hear them, do come out, do enjoy the occasion with us. We have a great number of people now that look forward to us coming every year. And all I would say is try to enjoy it as much as we enjoy it.
Good. And obviously all the details about the tree lighting ceremony, the collection routes, the times, everything is on meridianrotary.co.uk. And if you can help and support in any way, either electricians or help deliver a gift, then again, meridianrotary.co.uk, you found the link there to email your details, and the club will then contact you back. And just before I let you go, John, I think this is the first time we've had you in the studio, and especially in our show. If I may, I know you haven't briefed us, I know I'm putting you on the spot, but if you can give us a little bit of background about how long ago did you join Rotary?
Oh, I'm a young Rotarian,
yes,
by comparison to some. In fact, coincidentally, I attended the initial foundation meetings for the Meridian Rotary Club.
Right.
Back in 27 years ago.
Right.
But at that particular time, I was unable to be a full member because I was in the height of my career.
Yeah.
I was travelling all over Europe with the job, and I couldn't devote the time that was needed.
Right.
I then came back once I was in a very different situation about 8 years ago now, and joined Meridian Rotary. And although I'd only been to a few of the exploratory meetings those years ago, it was almost like coming home. And
nice.
I was made very welcome by all the members, and anybody that comes along as a visitor to the club is made very, very welcome. So if you're thinking of coming along, don't hesitate, just come along, see what we do, have a meal with us, and enjoy the evening.
And what made you join?
Well,
is there something that triggered, surely something must have prompted you, triggered you to
What actually triggered my return, if you
Yes.
like, I was invited by a current member
Right.
to a talk that was taking place,
Right.
and it was a talk that particularly appealed to me, and it involved a nurse ship. I forget the actual
Okay.
terminology, but essentially it was a ship sponsored by Rotary that stopped off in ports in Africa,
Right.
and gave aid to people, and that appealed to me, and it rekindled my whole interest in Rotary.
And one last question before I let you go. You started 8 years ago. How has the club has it evolved? How has it evolved? Has it moved with time? How have things progressed in 8 years since you first started?
In just 8 years, when I joined, we had just about 20 members. We've now got in excess of 30 members. The age profile has fallen considerably. The average age was in its mid-60s. I would say it's now in its low 50s, mainly due to people
Young members like me in my mid-30s
people like
joining.
yourself, Steve.
Yes.
And it's a very vibrant place to be now.
I'm glad. Thank you very much for coming in, John, and I wish you the very best for you and your team, that things go well on Saturday the 6th, and obviously our team, Rotary and the Radio, will be present, and obviously we'll say hello to you if we do see you. I'm sure we will see you. Thank you very much. God bless you for all the work you've done, and I hope it goes all well for you.
Thank you very much, Steve.